First, though, we want to get the latest on the news. Lynn Brown is sitting in for Charlie Osgood. Lynn?
Good morning. Leading our news, today's dramatic developments in Beijing. Deng is back, and a new surge of repression may be underway. Bruce Dunning joins us in the troubled city with the latest. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Lynn. The biggest news of the day came moments ago. Deng Xiaoping made his first public appearance since he welcomed Mikhail Gorbachev to China nearly a month ago. Along with hardline Premier Li Peng, meeting with the commanders of the martial law forces that now control Beijing. Conspicuously absent was the more moderate Zhao Ziyang, now believed to have been removed as chief of the Communist Party. Deng, referred to as chairman, expressed gratitude to the troops who suppressed the pro-democracy movement, and also condolences for what he called the heroic deaths of armed police. And to emphasize how firmly the hardliners control the government, even Wan Li, who praised the student movement during a visit to the United States, joined in this enthusiastic endorsement of the crackdown. The army used the night to search the city, the soldiers reportedly arresting scores of pro-democracy activists under cover of darkness. Today, the campuses were silent and empty. Most students have fled, fearful that tonight the army will sweep the universities. But the students left their pleas for democracy and an end to violence. As the government tightens the clamps on the capital, thousands rallied in Shanghai to mourn the dead of Beijing. Demonstrations and violence have spread to cities across China. The government has suppressed some of them as cruelly as it did in Beijing. At Chengdu, Professor Larry Hertzberg and his students saw young Chinese beaten beyond recognition as horrified friends watched.
They feel so hopeless now about China's future. The government has been so senselessly cruel.
Darkness is gathering now over Beijing, and hundreds of troops have massed very near this hotel, close to the university campuses where the democracy movement was born. It's feared that the soldiers may seize the campuses in the coming hours. Lynn?
Bruce, Deng is 84, and there have been rumors that he's been in ill health in the past few weeks. Now, we did see him on the pictures. He seemed to be fit, but what did he sound like?
Lynn, Deng seemed to be conveying an image of vigor and leadership, but he was slurring his words and needed coaching at one point. His left hand was trembling. He looked like an old man in declining health.
Okay, thank you very much. Bruce Dunning, our foreign correspondent in China, keeping us posted. China's leaders are reading a warning from President Bush today that if they want normal relations, they must respect the pro-democracy student movement. Ron Allen at the White House reports on Mr. Bush's news conference.
The president relied on his experience as special envoy to China to field an array of questions about the turmoil in Beijing. He's been trying to personally telephone China's leaders without success to make an assessment of the situation.
I want them to know that I view this relationship as important, and yet I view the life of every single student as important.
The president said he is uncertain if China's hardline leadership has consolidated power or who else might be in control of the government.
I'm trying to say that I don't know. And I'm trying to say you don't know. And that's the way the Chinese system works.
Mr. Bush said he was personally disappointed by the student massacre and that China's 17-year relationship with the U.S. could never be normalized unless the urge for democracy and human rights is recognized by the government.
We have to speak out in favor of human rights. And we aren't going to remake the world, but we should stand for something. And there's no question in the minds of these students that the United States is standing in their corner.
For now, the president intends to stay his current course, hoping the suspension of military sales and eventual diplomatic contacts will help resolve the crisis.
The situation is still very, very murky.
Throughout the night, the president was clear and consistent. He wants to strike a balance, maintain a good relationship with the Chinese government, and send a strong message of condemnation for what's happened there. Ron Allen, CBS News, the White House.